Sir Dwight Venner says subsidies are important and there is definitely a need for government to subsidize basic commodities. But the ECCB governor feels that both high and low income earners should not benefit from the measure.
You have to ask yourself, is there another way that you can identify the people who really need that subsidy as opposed to the whole community? Well, it's the same thing with petrol, right? I mean, when you subsidize petrol, BMWs get the same subsidy, right, as your little Corolla. Now, is that equal? Okay, so it's a whole set of money going for everybody where a lot of them can afford, and that's not the nature of subsidies.
The governor of the Eastern Caribbean Central Bank states that subsidies should be for people who cannot afford to pay for basic commodities. He feels subsidies should not benefit everyone, especially those who can afford to pay.
So when you do the math, right, it might not come out like it appears to be, that it is an imposition on the poor. And so we have to relook, subsidies in the real sense. Why do you give a subsidy? Because somebody needs it. If you can afford a BMW, do you need a subsidy for petrol? Right? If you earn $25,000 a month, do you need a subsidy for rice, sugar, and flour?
Anybody could go to the supermarket and purchase rice, flour, sugar at the subsidized rate. And he's correct that when you, as a policy, you should implement subsidies for persons who really need it at the bottom. And that is why this time around, in trying to deal with it as a government, you may realize that the government, in addition to lowering the subsidy now, also went in and tried and increased the allowance that persons who are getting help from government is receiving. So that is a way of responding to those at the end.
According to the Commerce Minister, further work, as indicated by Prime Minister Dr. Kenny Anthony in his budget address, will be done on subsidies, and that, she states, will correct the issue of imbalances. The government of St. Lucia recently reviewed its subsidy on dry goods like rice, flour and sugar to ensure sustainability and greater benefit to the poor. Presently, government expends $20 million annually to subsidize products. For the DBS News World, Jason Hullingseed reporting.